Hello students, let's do estimation and approximation exercise 2B. 2B, this exercise is found on page number 15 and we are with question 7. Question 7, estimate each of the following products. So now we are talking about products by rounding off each number to the nearest 10. So first step, we're going to learn to round off numbers to the nearest 10 and then we find the product. Product is the answer that you get when you multiply two numbers. So here we have the first one, 49 into 52. First step is we find the nearest 10 of 49 and 52 by rounding them off. And then we find the product of these two numbers. So let's begin that. So the first step, 49 to the nearest 10. So whenever we find the nearest 10 of a number, we have to look at the number in the tens place. So here we have ones and tens. We have 4 in the tens place. And then we look at the digit to its right. Now here the digit is 9, which is more than 5. So 4 will now change to 5. 5, and in place of 9 we put a 0. So 49 to the nearest 10 is 50. Now let's take 52. Here the number in the tens place is 5 and the digit next to it is 2, which is less than 5. So the underlined digit will remain the same. So 5 will remain the same, 5, and in place of 2 we put a 0. So 52 rounded off to the nearest 10 is 50. Now we have to find the required product. Required product means we have to multiply these two numbers, 50 into 50. Okay, so the easiest way is by multiplying only the numbers, leaving out the zeros. This is the easiest way to multiply when numbers are ending in zeros. So 5 5s are 25. And then we count the two zeros. We have 1, 2, two zeros and we put it here. So what do we have here? 2500. So the required product is 2500. Question 2. 63 into 38. So the first step is we need to round off 63 to the nearest 10. So the digit in the tens place, ones, tens is 6. Now we have to look at the digit to its right. It's less than 5. So 6 will remain the same. So 6, and in place of 3 we put a 0. 63 to the nearest 10 is 60. Now 38 to the nearest 10. So the digit in the tens place is 3. The digit to its right is more than 5. So 3 will change to 4. In place of 8 we have a 0. 38 to the nearest 10 is 40. Now we have to find the required product. That is, we take 60 into 40 and multiply these two. Let's multiply only the digits, leaving out the zeros. 6 4s are 24. So write 24. Now count the two zeros. 1, 2. We have two zeros. So our answer is 2400. Question 3. 27 into 54. So first step, we're going to round off 27 to the nearest 10. And 2 is in the tens place. The digit to its right is more than 5. So 2 will now change to 3. And in place of 7, we write 0. So 27 to the nearest 10 is 30. Now 54 to the nearest 10, the digit in the tens place is 5. The digit to its right is less than 5. So 5 will remain the same. And in place of 4, we are going to put a 0. Now the required product is 30 into 50. So when we multiply this, let's multiply only 3 into 5, leaving out the zeros. 3 5s are 15. And now we add the two zeros. So the required product is 1500. Question 4. 53 into 85. First step, we have to round off 53 to the nearest 10. 5 is in the tens place and the digit to its right is less than 5. So 5 that you have underlined will remain the same. In place of 3 we put a 0. 53 to the nearest 10 is 50. Next 85. And in the tens place we have 8. The digit to its right is 5. So 8 will change to 9 and a 0. Now 85 to the nearest 10 is 90. Required product will be 50 into 90. So let's multiply 5 into 9 first. So that will be 5 nines are 45 and then add the two zeros. So the required product is 4500. Question 5, 74 into 67. 74 to the nearest 10. In the tens place we have 7. The digit to its right is less than 5, so 7 will remain the same and we put a 0. 74 to the nearest 10 is 70. 67 to the nearest 10. In the tens place we have 6 and the digit to its right is more than 5, so 6 will change to 7 and then we put a 0. 67 to the nearest 10 is 70. The required product is 70 into 70. So here we are going to multiply 7 into 7 first. So what do we get? 7 sevens are 49. Now we look at the two zeros and we add the two zeros. So what do we have? 4900, which is the required product. Next one, 25 into 33. So 25 to the nearest 10. So 2 is in the tens place. The digit to its right is 5. So 2 will change now to 3 and we put a 0. 33 to the nearest 10. The digit in the tens place is 3. The digit to its right is less than 3. So 3 will remain the same and we put a 0. 33 to the nearest 10 is 30. The required product is 30 into 30. So let's multiply 3 into 3 and what do we get? 3 threes are 9. Then put the two zeros, 900. So the required product here is 900. Question 8. Estimate each of the following products by rounding off each number to the nearest 100. So this time it is the nearest 100. So let's begin. So we have question 1, 477 into 213. The first step, 477 to the nearest 100. So let's underline the digit in the hundreds place. We have ones, tens and hundreds. That's 4. 4 is in the hundreds place. Look at the digit to its right, 7. That's more than 5, isn't it? So the underlined digit will now change. 4 will now become 5 and the digits to its right will be two zeros. So 477 to the nearest 100 is 500. Next we have 213 to the nearest 100. The digit in the hundreds place is 2. The digit to its right is 1, which is less than 5. So 2 will remain the same and we put two zeros. Now the required product will be 500 into 200. And here again, our multiplication becomes easy when the numbers are ending in 0. 5 into 2. So how much is 5 into 2? 5 twos are 10. Now count all the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to add 4 more zeros. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now let's place commas in the right places. Ones, tens, hundreds, comma, thousands, 10,000s, comma. So what is our required product? 1 lakh. Question 2. 624 into 236. Now 624 to the nearest 100. So the digit in the hundreds place, ones, tens, hundreds is 6. The digit to its right is less than 5. So 6 will remain the same and the other two digits will become 2, 0, 600. 236 to the nearest 100. The digit in the hundreds place is 2. The digit to its right is less than 5. So 2 will remain the same and the other two digits are two zeros. 236 to the nearest 100 is 200. Now the required product here will be 600 into 200. And now we're going to multiply 6 into 2. So 6 twos are 12. Now let's count all the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's add 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's place our commas. Ones, tens, hundreds and then we put a comma here. Thousands, 10,000s, comma. So what is our required product? 1 lakh 20,000. Question 3. 333 into 247. 333 to the nearest hundred. So ones, tens, hundreds. In the hundreds place we have 3. The digit to its right is less than 5. So the underlined digit remains the same. So 3 and followed by 2 zeros. 333 to the nearest hundred is 300. Now 247 to the nearest hundred. In the hundreds place we have 2. To its right we have 4 which is less than 5. So 2 will remain the same followed by 2 zeros. Now the required product will be 300 into 200. So again here also let's multiply only 3 into 2. 3 2s are 6. Count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's put the commas in the right places. Ones, tens, hundreds, and then you put a comma. So here our answer is 60,000. This is the required product. Question 4. 537 into 283. 537 to the nearest hundred. Underline the digit in the hundreds place. Look at the digit to its right. It's less than 5. So 5 will remain the same and 2 zeros. 500. 283 to the nearest hundred. In the hundreds place we have 2. To its right we have 8 which is more than 5. So 2 will change to 3 followed by 2 zeros. So 283 to the nearest hundred is 300. Now the required product will be 500 into 300. Let's multiply only 5 into 3 first. 5 threes are 15. Now count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's add the 4 zeros here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the commas in the right places. Ones, tens, hundreds, comma, thousands, 10,000s, comma. So the required product is 1,50,000. Question 5. 382 into 127. 382 to the nearest hundred. In the hundreds place we have 3. The digit to its right is more than 5. So 3 will now change to 4 and then 2 zeros. 400. 127 to the nearest hundred. Digit in the hundreds place is 1. The digit to its right is less than 5. So 1 will remain the same followed by 2 zeros. So 127 to the nearest hundred is 100. Then we have to find the required product by multiplying 400 into 100. So we'll multiply 4 into 1 first. So what do we get? 4 into 1 is 4. 4 ones are 4. Then count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put your comma in the right place. Ones, tens, hundreds, commas. So your required product here is 40,000. Question 6. 472 into 328. 472 to the nearest hundred. In the hundreds place we have 4. The digit to its right is more than 5. So 4 will change to the next number which is 5. Followed by 2 zeros. 500. 328 to the nearest hundred. The digit in the hundreds place is 2. To its right we have a number that is less than 5. So 3 will remain the same followed by 2 zeros. 300. Now the required product will be 500 into 300. So here first let's multiply 5 into 3. 5 threes are 15. Then count the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Place a comma in the right place. Ones, tens, hundreds, commas. Thousands, 10,000s, comma. So the required product is 1,50,000. Question 9. Estimate each of the following products but by rounding off the first number correct to the nearest 10. So two numbers are given. First number to the nearest 10 and the other number correct to the nearest 100. So we have to read a question carefully and understand it. The first number to be rounded off to the nearest 10, the second number to be rounded off to the nearest 100 And then what should we do? Find the product. We have to multiply the two. So let's begin with that. So 28 to the nearest 10. The digit in the tens place is 2. The digit to its right is more than 5. So 2 will change to 3 and 0. So 28 to the nearest 10 is 30. 287 to the nearest 100. So the digit in the hundreds place, ones, tens and hundreds is 2. The digit to its right is more than 5. So 2 will change to 3 and the other two digits will become 2 zeros. So 287 to the nearest 100 is 300. Now the required product will be 30, that's the first number, into 300. 30 into 300. So here we have to first multiply 3 into 3. So 3 threes are 9. Now count all the zeros. 1, 2, 3. We have 3 zeros there. So let's add that. 1, 2, 3. So we have 9,000. The required product is 9,000. Question 2. 432 into 128. The first number to the nearest 10. So the digit in the tens place is 3. And to its right we have a digit which is less than 5. So 3 will remain the same. So what do we have there? 4, 3 and 0. 430. The next number is to be rounded off to the nearest 100. So in the hundreds place we have 1. The digit to its right is less than 5. So 1 will remain the same. And then we put 2 zeros. 100. Now to find the required product, we multiply 430 into 100. Now since it is 1 there, it's easy. We can do 43, this whole thing into 1. So 43 into 1 is 43. Now count the number of zeros. We have 1, 2 and 3. We have 3 zeros. Let's add 1, 2, 3 zeros. So we have 43,000, which is our required product. Question 3. 48 into 165. First number 48 to be rounded off to the nearest 10. So the digit in the tens place is 4. To its right is more than 5. So 4 will change to 5 and zeros. 50. 48 to the nearest 10 is 50. The next number has to be rounded off to the nearest 100. And in the hundreds place we have 1. To its right we have 6, which is more than 5. So 1 will change to 2. And then we have 2 zeros. 200. Now the required product will be 50 into 200. So let's multiply 5 into 2. So 5 into 2 will be 10. 5 twos are 10. And then we count the zeros. 1, 2, 3 zeros. So 1, 2, 3. So what do we have? 10,000. So our required product here is 10,000. Question 4. 72 into 258. 72 to the nearest 10. The digit in the tens place is 7. To its right, we have a digit that is less than 5. So 7 will remain the same. And then we have a 0. 258 to the nearest 100. So the digit in the hundreds place is 2. To its right, we have 5. So 2 will now change to 3. 3 and then 2 zeros. So 300. Now to find the required product, we multiply 70 into 300. So multiply 7 into 3. 7 threes are 21 and then count the zeros. 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3. That's 21,000, which is the required product. Question 5. 83 into 664. 83 to the nearest 10. In the tens place is 8. To its right is less than 5. So 8 will remain the same. In place of 3 we have a 0. 80. Then 664 to the nearest 100. In the hundreds place we have 6. To its right we have a digit that's more than 5. So the underlined digit will change. 6 will now become 7 and followed by 2 zeros. 700. The required product will be 80 into 700. Let's multiply 8 into 7. 8 sevens are 56. Count the zeros. 1, 2, 3. 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. So we have 56,000, which is the required product. Question 6. 44 into 250. 44 to the nearest 10. In the tens place, we have 4. To its right, we have a digit less than 5. So 4 will remain the same, followed by a 0, 40. 250 to the nearest 10, underline the digit in the hundreds place. This is to the nearest 100. 100, so underline the digit in the hundreds place. To its right, we have 5. So 2 will now become 3, followed by 2 zeros. So 300. Now, required product will be 40 into 300. So let's multiply 4 into 3. 4 threes are 12. And then let's count the zeros. 1, 2, 3. Add the zeros. So now your answer is 12,000, which is the required product. Question 10. Estimate each of the following quotients by rounding each number to the nearest 10. And we have the first question, 87 divided by 28. So here we are talking about the quotient. That means we have to divide. First, by rounding each number to the nearest 10. So the first step is rounding these two numbers to the nearest 10 and then by dividing and finding the quotient. So the first step, we are going to round off 87 to the nearest 10. In the tens place, we have 8. To its right, we have 7. So 8 will change to 9 and 0. So 87 to the nearest 10 is 90. Now 28 to the nearest 10. 2 is in the tens place. Digit to the right is more than 5. So 2 will change to 3 and 0. 28 to the nearest 10 is 30. Now quotient. To find the quotient, we have to divide 90 divided by 30. Now there are different ways of doing it. You can do it this way, 90 divided by 30, where we can cancel the zeros. Then we just have 9 divided by 3. So that is 3 threes are 9. So that is one way. So the answer here is 3. Another way is doing long division, like you have divide 90 by 30. 30 into 3. 33s are 90 minus. So again your quotient here is 3. This is the answer. Your quotient is 3. This is the answer. Okay. Otherwise you have another way of doing, which is short division, 90 divided by 30. So here also 33s are 90, which is your quotient and your answer. So you can do any one of these ways. So your final answer here for your quotient is 3. Question 2. 84 divided by 23. So 84 to the nearest 10. In the tens place we have 8. The digit to its right is less than 5. So 8 will remain as it is. So 80. 84 to the nearest 10 is 80. Then 23 to the nearest 10. So we have 2 in the tens place and the digit to its right is less than 5. So 2 will remain the same. So 2 and 0, that's 20. Now the quotient is 80 divided by 20. So let's do that division. 80 divided by 20. You can do in any one of the ways which is easy for you. So here I can cancel the zeros and divide 8 by 2. 2 4s are 8. So my quotient is 4. The answer here is 4. Question 3. 77 divided by 22. 77 to the nearest 10. The digit in the tens place is 7. To its right is a digit more than 5. So the underlined digit will change. This will become 8 and 0, 80. Now 22 to the nearest 10. In the tens place we have 2. To the right we have a digit less than 5. So 2 will remain the same, followed by a 0. So the quotient will be 80 divided by 20. So let's do that division. 80 divided by 20. We can cancel out the zeros. Then 2 4s are 8. So that will be your quotient. So the quotient here is 4. This is our answer. Question 4. 198 divided by 24. 198 to the nearest 10. In the tens place we have 9. And to the right we have a digit which is more than 5. So 9 will change to the next number which is 10. But I already have a number before that. So how do I do this? I just have to add 1 here. When I add 1 here, 9 plus 1 is 10. Carry 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. I get 20. So in place of 19, I have 20, and in place of 8, I will put a 0. That becomes 200. 24 to the nearest 10. In the tens place, I have 2. The digit to its right is less than 5, so 2 will remain as it is, followed by a 0. Now my quotient will be 200 divided by 20. Let's do that division. 200 divided by 20. Now we can cancel only 1 0. And now we have 20 divided by 2. So 2 tens are 20. So the quotient here is 10. So that is our answer for this question. That is 10. Question 5. 355 divided by 26. 355 to the nearest 10. In the tens place we have 5. The digit next to it is 5. So the underlined digit will change. So I have 3. 5 will now become 6 and the other 5 we put a 0. 360. 26 to the nearest 10. We have 2 in the tens place. The digit to its right is more than 5. So 2 will change to 3 followed by a 0. Now the quotient is 360 divided by 30. So let's do that. 360 divided by 30. Now I can cancel 1 0. Now I can cancel 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6. That means 3 into 12 is 36. 12 3s are 36. So my quotient here is 12. That is my answer to this question. Question 6. 444 divided by 42. 444 to the nearest 10. In the tens place we have 4. The digit to its right is less than 5. So underlined digit will remain the same. So 4, 4 and we have a 0. 440. 42 to the nearest 10. Underline 4. The digit to its right is less than 5. So 4 will remain the same followed by a 0. 40. Now the quotient will be 440 divided by 40. So let's do that division. 440 divided by 40. Cancel the 0. Now divide 44 by 4. 4 1s are 4, 4 1s are 4. That means 4 11s are 44. So we've got 11 as our quotient. So this is the answer to this question. Question 7. 843 divided by 33. 843 to the nearest 10. In the tens place we have 4. Digit to its right is less than 5. So 4 will remain the same. So 8, 4 and 0. 840. 33 to the nearest 10. In the tens place we have 3. The digit to its right is less than 5. So 3 will remain the same. So that's 3 followed by a 0. Now the quotient will be 840 divided by 30. So let's divide 840 divided by 30. So I can cancel the zeros. Now I can divide 84 by 3. I can do short division, long division or even by cancelling. Now 3 2s are 6. I'm doing the long division method now. Now 2, 4. I have 24. 3 8s are 24. So I've got my quotient. My quotient is 28. So that is my answer here, 28. Question 11. There are 768 houses in a town and about 7 people live in each house. Round off these two numbers to the nearest 10 and estimate the total number of people living in the town. Okay, so now we're beginning with word problems and we've been asked to first round off the numbers given and then to find out how many people live in that town. So let's begin by saying the number of houses in a town is 768. Then we have the number of people in each house, that is 7. Now we have to round off these two numbers. So rounding off 768 to the nearest 10. In the tens place we have 6. To its right we have a digit that's more than 5. So 6 will change to 7. So we already have a 7. 6 will change to 7 and a 0. So now that's 770. The next number, rounding off 7 to the nearest 10. Okay, let me do it here in the working column for you. If I have to round off 7 to the nearest 10, I should have a digit in the tens place. I only have ones here, and tens place I have no number. So I'm going to put a 0. And now I'm going to round this off to the nearest 10. So in the tens place I have 0. The digit to its right is more than 5. So 0 will change to the next number, that is 1. And in place of 7, I have 0. So when you round off 7 to the nearest 10, you get 10. So let's write that here, 10. Now, you have to understand the sum. So number of people is around 10. We've rounded it off in each house, and there are 770 houses. So to find the total number of people here, we have to multiply these two numbers. That means we must find the product. So the product will be 770 into 10. So let's multiply 77 into 1. 77 into 1. 77 ones are 77 itself. And then let's look at the zeros. There are 2 zeros. So now we have 7,700. So the total number of people living in the town is 7,700 approximately. Question 12. There are 514 mango trees in an orchard. The owner plans to plant 178 more mango trees. So already there were 514. He wants to plant 178 more. Now the question is, estimate how many mango trees will be there in the orchard correct to the nearest 100. So here we have to round it off to the nearest 100 and find the total number of mango trees that will be there in the orchard. So let's begin. Number of mango trees in an orchard is 514. Now, number of mango trees that are going to be added will be 178. Now, we have to round off these two numbers to the nearest 100. So, 514 to the nearest 100. Underline the digit in the hundreds place. The digit to its right is less than 5. So, the underlined digit will remain the same. 5 followed by 2 zeros. So when you round off 514 to the nearest 100, you get 500. Then 178 to the nearest 100. In the hundreds place, we have 1. To its right, we have more than 5. So 1 will change to 2. 200. Now we have to find out how many mango trees there will be approximately in the orchard by adding up these two. So the total number, to find that, we have to add up. So let's do the addition. So we have 0, 0. 5 plus 2 is 7. So that is 700. So the number of mango trees in the orchard will be 700 after he plants them all. So this is our final answer here, 700. So with this, children, we come to the end of this exercise. Thank you, children.